Hi guys, I'm Aiden, aka Wargamal, and I'm here to tell you about the game jam I recently took part in. Now, I'm just your typical gamer, but I do have a dream, which is to create games on my own to share with the world. And, as most people do, I procrastinated doing that for years. However, recently, I finally took the important first step. To begin with, I fiddled around in Unity for a bit, taking my prior programming experience and smacking it into the Unity API until I could get something simple working, such as an extremely slidey character controller. But I wasn't really doing what I wanted, which was to make a game. Now, that's where the game jam came in. My dad, who's also an avid gamer and crazy good programmer amongst other things, had brought up taking part in a game jam. And together we decided on taking part in the summer 2021 My First Game Jam. This was the perfect jam for us as we were definitely beginners. The first day came around and we started by jotting down some ideas surrounding the jam's theme of free. We'd eventually settled down on the fairly ambitious idea of an escape room-esque game, except you had to break stuff to get out. Now, we had 2 weeks to work on this game, but I procrastinated way too much, and my dad still had to do his real job. However, this time period would still give us plenty of time to do what we wanted. So, together we loaded up Unity, created a new 3D project, and started by knocking together a proof of concept room, with just an axe, and a door that you had to break to get out. As I've been working with the Unity API a lot more than my dad recently, my dad decided to do the modelling of the breakable door in Blender while also just setting up the scene in Unity. At the same time, I programmed just a simple character controller, made some breaking mechanics, and made it so you could pick up and swing the axe to break the door. The axe swing animation was much worse than the one you see now, but I don't have a recording of it in action, and frankly, you probably don't want to see how bad it was. But other than that, everything in what would become our first level was working. So we decided to stick with the idea. Over the rest of the first weekend, we continued to add stuff to the first level to make it feel better, such as some breakable boxes, an openable door, a pickup mechanic for the boxes, a light switch, and obviously a light to go with it. Now, a week went by without much work going on because, as I said, my dad still had work. However, that changed on the middle weekend of the jam where both my dad and I added a level, which, as you can see, mine was much worse. At the same time, we'd added some CCTV cameras for the player to avoid. And along the way, we tweaked animations to get the axe animation how we have it now and just improved the player movement and braking mechanic a bit. On the same weekend, we had also shoved together some menus and had our first playtests. And, of course, there was quite a few bugs to fix. Over the last week of the jam, my dad continued to add some levels. We added in a keypad mechanic, put in lots of sounds that just added quite a lot of life to the game, and then added a badly needed options menu. Then arrived the biggest crunch day, which also happened to be the final day of the jam. We enlisted some help making the menus look better because you could tell they were made by programmers. I added some post-processing just to make the game look so much better, fixed a ton of bugs, made it so the game would save what levels you had access to and what options you'd selected. Got some more people to play test, so we fixed even more bugs. Added a timer so people could speed on the levels. And finally just added a touch of story integration with some voice lines I slapped together in Audacity. Then with everything we absolutely wanted to do before the end of the game jam finished, we added our final level just to round the game out. By now, our Trello board had overflowed with all the things we had added and all the things we'd wanted to add given we had more time or put more work in. But overall, I'm really proud of how our game turned out, and actually had a blast speedrunning the levels while competing with the times of some of my friends. I'll leave a link to the game in the description if any of you want to try it out. It's completely free, of course, and comment your thoughts down below if you do. I'd love to hear your feedback. But otherwise, that'll be all from me in this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and peace.